All right, welcome to our first Zoom meeting. How is the challenge going for everybody?
Going good.
It's good.
Great so far.
Awesome. So I thought we'd keep going on with what I mentioned in the on the team wall today with the exercise and incorporating it into our everyday routine. And so as part of also like losing weight and stuff, because I see a lot of people in their goals for this challenge talked about adding strength training or trying to exercise more regularly and stuff like that. So since I studied exercise science in college, that's what my degree's in, I thought maybe it'd be good to talk about today. So what are some of your goals? So Cheryl, I know you do jazzercise.
Yeah, I love doing jazzercise. I think you really have to pick something that you love too, that you're willing to get up at 5:50 in the morning to go do because you love it. It makes you feel good, and it's so good for your health to have a regular exercise. I don't think you're supposed to do really strenuous exercise while you're losing weight, but once you're down to pretty close to your weight range, I think that it's good to do it. But yeah, it's something you love. What I would recommend.
Mm-hmm. Dad, what's your goal? What are you doing?
Long term or short term? Long term goal is to run a half marathon.
Oh, okay.
But short term, I just incorporate what I'm doing into my daily activity, like walking to work or biking to work when the weather gets better.
Yeah, and especially with the snowstorm we're supposed to be getting tonight, it should be interesting.
Yep.
What about you, Lisa? What is your exercise goal?
I have been really enjoying cycling and like a spin class and a weight class.
Body pump.
Body pump. So I hope to just continue. I really like both classes, and it's great, like Cheryl said, to find something that you actually enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoy it, and I work hard, and I'm just hoping my goal is to just continue doing those.
Sounds good. I feel like there are so many exercises and things you can do out there right now available that are not too hard to do anymore. It's easy. It's a lot easier to find something that fits you. One of
the other things I do, which doesn't apply to everybody, obviously, but where I work has a weight room workout area, and so when I get tired of sitting in my cubicle, I go down and lift a few weights just to wake myself up and feel better. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is really awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah, so there's something that everyone can do. Like, seriously, my husband swears by yoga now, and I just think it's so funny that he's in the front room and he bought a yoga mat on Amazon, and he has this yoga video, and it's just, I don't know, it's not something I would ever pictured my husband to like, but he loves yoga, and if he likes yoga, there's got to be something out there for everybody. I think the biggest thing with exercise is there's called the principle of overload. So when we're losing weight, like Cheryl said, you don't want to like work out too much, or if you do, you need to compensate with making sure you're giving yourself protein so that you can rebuild those muscles, and also you're staying super, super hydrated in the process to compensate. So we should be doing, with the challenge, we're supposed to be doing 80 ounces of water. And what they say is you're supposed to drink at least half of your body weight in ounces, and that's if you don't exercise. And so when you exercise, you need to actually up it even more when you have a really sweaty day, when it's really hot outside, things like that. But when you have a goal, like Dad wants to run a half marathon, you need to actually overload. So when you start running, your body will get to a point where it reaches homeostasis, where if you're not losing weight and you're not changing your habits, but you're still exercising, but if you don't change your exercise, you're not going to get better. Like I had a friend who came to me and she was like, I have been running a mile every single day for over a month and I'm not getting faster and I'm not running and I can't run any longer. And I'm like, are you doing sprints or are you doing hills or are you doing anything to change up the routine? She goes, no, I just go out and I run a mile. And I'm like, well, you're not overloading. And so your body's not going to adapt. And so you're not going to get better until you overload that mile. So you can do it either like doing a little bit longer distance or a little bit faster pace or like hills or something like that, but do it slowly to prevent injury. But you do, in anything you're doing, once you reach that homeostasis and you feel like you're not improving, you have to actually do something that's going to make it a little harder and push yourself a little bit more, which is why they say with like weightlifting or when you're doing like HIIT training or things like that, actually keep a journal or a record of how many you're doing per minute or in your time period, or with your weight, either in like increase your reps or increase your reps and then increase your weight, or even just moving, changing grips on like the weight machines is really good. Like one workout, do like the one that's closer in, like if you're doing the pull down bar, do the close in one, and then the next time you do the pull down bar, do the outside grip, because that's also slightly different muscles every time. Does that make sense? All of that makes sense?
So are you saying you're supposed to change it up? Is that what you're saying? You're supposed to change it a little bit?
So you either need to do what you're doing a little bit harder so that you're getting better or your body's continuing to change. A good measure for that is if you're doing something cardio like jazzercise, is if you can say a full sentence without breathing hard, then you should be working harder. So in anything you're doing, you should be going, you're like, no, I can't do that.
I was just laughing because one of my friends will be like, I can't talk. So sometimes we'll be talking while we're working out and then she'll be like, I can't talk. So I'm like, okay, she's working hard enough. Apparently I'm not.
A good rule of thumb is if you need to take a deep breath about every 3 words. Means you're working hard enough where you're pushing your body or you're overloading it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That does.
So some other things, because I know a lot of it is like you just need to kind of incorporate it into your everyday life. Especially strength training is super, super important because that's what builds the muscles. That's going to help boost. The more muscles you have, the more mitochondria, and then the higher your metabolism. And so then you just burn more calories at your homeostasis level. So that's why strength training is so important. Strength training is also super important for injury prevention and everything like that. But you don't have to go to the gym to do strength training. And you don't need equipment to do strength training. You can do plyometrics, which are really good. That's the jumping. Like when you do jump squats or like jump lunges and things like that. And if you can't jump, like I couldn't jump for a long time after I had a baby, the static contractions are really good. So when you just hold a pose for a really long time, like wall sits are super good because you're just in a position and you're just holding it for as long as you can. And then going on with the principle of overload is say, okay, so I'm going to be able to hold a wall sit for a minute. And then my next goal is to be able to hold it for a minute and 10 seconds. And then you just keep increasing your time, or just add weights to your legs. So you're also overloading that way and just kind of vary it up. You can even just do that, like do a wall sit while my son throws a ball and I throw it back at him, or we do darts. So like I have a dart gun and he brings me the dart while I do my wall sit and I shoot it and he goes and gets it. Like there's things you can do to incorporate those in your everyday. Or you can hold downward dog and play at London bridges where they run under you.
Cute.
My son likes to do that. And holding downward dog for a really long time is super hard. So anyways, because it works your shoulders and your arms and your abs if you use your ab to lift it up, or planks, holding planks for a really long time while it climbs on my back, you know, like that's even harder.
Wow.
And that works like everything, because you're working like your back and your stomach and your legs and your deltoids and your triceps if you're doing the ones on your elbows, things like that. And does all that make sense so far?
Yes. I can't do a plank without a kid on my back.
See, look, you're overloading.
To you.
I have a hard time doing a plank without a kid on my back.
I was going to say, plank? What's a plank?
You know what a plank is, Dad.
I'm sure Nikki can show you.
I'm sure
You've probably done it. You just don't know that's the
have
name.
The straight arms and your body is straight, like a plank.
Kind of like a push-up, only lower.
Right. Yep. Got it.
And you hold it long and you hold it strong.
Okay.
There's a lot of power yoga moves too that you can just hold for a really long time that are really, really good static strength training contractions on your muscles too that I like. The other thing that I love is really good is using the yoga balls. It took me a long time, or the exercise balls, to actually learn how to incorporate that. But when you incorporate that in your exercises, it actually uses more muscles, because you also, not only are you doing the muscles that you're using in the workout, but you're also usually engaging your core and your muscles to stabilize yourself to hold the ball still. So like even doing a wall sit with the yoga ball behind you. So lean against the yoga ball on the wall and then do the wall sit. And not only are you doing your legs, but you're also doing your core to keep yourself still, to stop from rolling around on the ball.
Multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. While you're throwing and playing darts with your child, you know. Or doing push-ups with your feet on the yoga ball. And the nice thing, I actually prefer doing push-ups on the yoga ball, is because you just, the further the yoga ball is up on your body, like if the yoga ball is closer to your hips, then that's an easier one. And then the next time you can work to the point where you can do push-ups with the yoga ball further down your body on your knees, because you're having to go down further. So again, you're just overloading and making sure you're doing more.
I can bring it in there if you're done.
Important.
Yeah.
So anyways, so pretty much doing sit-ups, anything, the yoga balls, because that's incorporating your core just to stabilize yourself while you're doing the exercise.
Cheryl, you look gorgeous.
You know, that picture down, that camera on Robert's camera is like a wide angle lens, and you can only see this part. It's like, so, this is just my phone. I'm upstairs.
You need to update your before and after picture, Cheryl.
Well, I wanted to actually get in my weight range before I did that.
So you do.
I never made it to my weight range yet.
But baby, you look good. Maybe that's not your weight range, because you look good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are my things that I had. Does anyone have anything else to add about exercising in your everyday life, incorporating it?
That sounds good.
Yep.
I think that was really awesome that you knew all that stuff. I mean,
These are my sticky notes. I'm such a nerd. I'm like, I'm like laying in bed last night and I'm like, oh man, I could talk to them about principle of overload and specificity. Oh, I'm totally using my degree here. This is so awesome.
it is perfect for you to be talking about all that stuff.
I was excited. So
It's perfect.
You're doing wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Here, why don't we all say bye and then I'll stop recording.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.